Hi, boys and girls. This is Miss Janice, and welcome to Storytime. This is our book for today, The Extraordinary Gardener by Sam Balton. Joe was a boy with a wild imagination. It took him far away to a world less ordinary, to a place very different from the world outside. In Joe's world, plants grew taller than skyscrapers, and animals, unlike any other, roamed the streets and soared through the air. Every day, Joe longed for his world to come to life. Then one night, while he was reading his favorite book, an idea began to grow. It was full of beauty, color, scent, and song, and it all started with something very small. The next morning, Joe went in search of the one little thing that would bring his idea to life. He looked in all the usual places and the not so usual. Finally, he found what he was looking for. Wasting no time, Joe collected all his tools and carefully planted the tiny seed. Then he fed it, and he watered it, and quietly waited. And waited, and waited some more. But nothing happened. Nothing changed. Eventually, Joe stopped waiting. He forgot all about his seed, and he went back to what he knew best, imagining. But something was happening. The seed had begun to grow. It grew and grew and grew. Then one ordinary day, while Joe was busy daydreaming, something colorful caught his eye. He stepped outside and discovered that where he had planted the tiny seed now stood the most beautiful tree. Joe got to work at once. He learned to trim and prune and dig and sow. Every day he brought home new seeds. He started to grow all sorts of things. Before long, the single tree had become a tiny garden that just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. One by one, Joe's neighbors came to visit the beautiful garden. When Joe saw his new friends so happy, he had another idea. Joe decided to share his garden with people throughout the city. And slowly, over time, with the help of that first tiny seed, Joe's world grew from ordinary to extraordinary. And there it is. What an imaginary world he built. Okay, thank you for joining me for story time. Boys and girls, I have some crafts for you to try, and they are related to our story. And the first one is you're going to make a paper plate garden. And on the paper plate, I have this line going across the bottom here. It's light, so you might not see it right now, but I also put a slit here in the middle, and I'm going to show you where that line is. And I'm going to show you my finished one. And here's the line. going across here. And what I did was I planted a seed right down here at the bottom. I drew the seed. And also I drew some roots. And then I colored the rest for the soil, the rest of this bottom part. Up here at the top, you can draw some blue lines for the sky. And I will give you a circle for the sun up here and turn the circle into a nice bright sun. The next thing I have for you to do is I have a little boy, maybe this is Joe, and I have a little girl. What I would like you to do is color both of them, and you can decide which one you want to put it in the garden. Here I have mine. There they are, the boy and the girl. And we're going to go back to the garden. And what you can do is if you would like to have the girl, then you just paste her on there. Or if you would like the boy, you can paste him on the paper plate. Or if you would like to, you can just use a piece of tape, make that circle again with the tape, and then you can change the person that's watering the plant. The next thing is to make the plant. We have a popsicle stick, and what I would like you to do is color it green. And then I have the flower, and I have 2 leaves for you to color. And I'll show you mine. This is how I decided to color my flower. See, it's green down here. The stick is green and the leaves and the flower. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put this in the back, the flower in the back, and put it inside the slit there. And the boy is watering the flower, and it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow. Look how big that flower grew. It's bigger than the little boy, just like in the story. By using your imagination, and Joe did in the story, you can pretend that flowers grow really, really big. Okay, that's the first craft. In the story, Joe shared a lot of his plants with his friends and neighbors in his little town. And so I would like you to take this plant, a flower again, and what I would like you to first do is to color it. And here's mine. And I do have slits here in the uncolored one. Here, I'll try to pull it out. Here, I'll show you this way. There is a slit here, and there's one down below too, right down here. See where my stick is coming through? And what I would like you to do is I will give you a lollipop for yours and put it in the slit up here at the top, and then have it come out here at the bottom. Now you can do this on your own, make some other flowers just like this, or smaller or bigger, and you can get some lollipops, and maybe you would like to share these special flowers with people in your neighborhood, in your family, or maybe some friends, and cheer them up just like Joe did in the story. Okay, thank you. In Joe's garden, if you look very carefully when you listen to the story, there were some birds and butterflies in the picture that made that world so beautiful, the one that he imagined in his mind. And then it really happened that there was a beautiful world and colorful. And one of the things was a butterfly, and they're very, very pretty. And on this side, you see the wings. There are 4 pieces to the wings. And if you take notice that everything on this side is the same as on this side. Butterfly wings are identical from this side and this side. They are identical, the same in all forms, the shape and the colors and the design. Well, I thought you could try making your own beautiful butterfly. And here it is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 sections to the butterfly. And I will show you some of mine that I made. I would like you to go through your house and maybe you can find some stickers or ribbon or colored paper or yarn, all different kinds of things that you may use for your butterfly. Well, I found some wrapping paper and I cut strips of that, and I had some dots, stickers, and I had some yarn. And do you see how I matched everything? It is the same. There's a word for that. It's called symmetry. That's a big word, and that means that this side is the same as this side. Now, you don't have to use things around the house. You can just use your crayons. And here's a sample of that. I did make one with just using crayons, and you could use markers also. And again, can you see that this side of the wing is the same as this side? Okay, try that one. Okay, boys and girls, the last activity I have for you is you're going to be a gardener. And I have this special pot. It's made out of a material called peat moss. And I have a packet here that it will be in your packet at the library. And inside, I have some soil. And what I would like you to do is put the soil in. Plants need soil to grow. And so I want you to put all of it in. And it's best if you put the pot on a paper plate or a piece of paper so that it doesn't go all over Mom's table. And leave some dirt inside the bag. And then I have another little bag, and inside here I have some seeds for you to plant. So this one pops open, and we'll see if we can't get those seeds out. And I want you to plant the seeds all around. Well, if you can't get them out, you might want to ask Mom to cut it open down closer to the seeds so you can get to it a little bit better than and then you take the seeds out and you're going to put them in the pot. And spread them all around. Don't put them all in one place. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the rest of the soil and you're going to cover them up. And you can press it down just a little bit. Don't press it real hard. I'm going to finish putting the rest of this dirt in here. And again, just press it down a little bit. The next thing the plant needs, it needs some water. So what I would like you to do is add a little water to it. Okay. And there's one more thing that a plant needs, and that's sunlight. So what you can do is, I suggest that you find a plastic container and put this pot inside, because there might be some water that leaks out of this pot. And that's okay if that happens. And then what I want you to do is find a sunny place to put your plant, your potted plants and your potted seeds, and let it grow. Don't forget to water it though, because that's what it needs. And it needs sunlight, and the seeds need the soil. Once you see some plants coming up, and they come up about this far, what you can do, about maybe 3-4 inches higher than the pot, what you can do is dig a hole somewhere in your garden, or if Mom has a flower bed, you can dig a hole and you can put this whole pot into the dirt, because this will disappear in the ground. It'll break, what they call break down, and it'll be part of the soil then. When your plant starts blooming, this is the flower that you will see. It's called a marigold, and it has yellow and some red coming out from the center. So they'll look really pretty somewhere in your garden, I'm sure. Okay, good luck with planting, and I hope you are an extraordinary planter. The last thing I have for you, boys and girls, are the packets, and they will be available at the library. And inside the packets, I have everything you need for the paper plate garden. And I also have the flower and the lollipop in there. I did put a smaller lollipop in there also for you to use on maybe a flower that you make on your own. I have the paper of for the butterfly craft, and I have 2 other papers inside. This one is showing you the 3 things that your plant needs to have. The one that you planted some seeds, and these are the things that you need to provide for those seeds. Here's water and the soil and the sun. And even when you plant the plant outside, it still needs these 3 things. The other paper is one that shows you the parts of the flowers. We have the roots, the stem, the leaves, and the petals of the flower. Both of these are just some fun papers for you to color. And I do have pots, and they are not in your packet, but I do have pots and the seeds and the soil also at the front desk with the packets. I hope that you really enjoy these activities, and I look forward to seeing you at the library. Bye.